I'm sorry, I meant to hit record. We're recording. Okay, go ahead, Nick.
All right, I'm Nicholas Martin. I've been in the program for about 3 years. Yeah, 3 years because I joined in freshman year. Uh, I'm 16. I'd like to be a commercial pilot in the future, and I really love this program, and I was really excited to put together this presentation, and I hope you guys will like it.
And Nick, before you do that, I want to ask you about the pilot situation. Tell them what you're doing with regards to piloting.
Well, when I first joined, I got a what's it called scholarship to go to the National Flight Academy camp through this program, and that was really fun, and it was really insightful. I got to learn a lot about aviation, and then later that summer, I went to an OBAP flight camp, and that was also a very cool experience. I got to tour the Hartsfield Jackson Airport in Atlanta, like behind the scenes, and it's crazy. It was just got to see so much.
You're on your way. You're on your way. All right, go ahead, Nick. Can't wait to hear what you got.
All right. Let me see. One second.
You having
All
trouble?
right, hold up. I'm having a little technical difficulties. I think I need to restart my PowerPoint real quick.
Yeah, do that.
Man, we see it. What are you trying to do to it?
I can't get to the slideshow part because part of the Zoom meeting is covering it up.
Uh, put your arrow back up to the top. A little more.
Well, no, it's like the Zoom overlay is like covering the PowerPoint
But
part.
we can see your
We can
point.
see it.
Yeah, just change your view. See if you can change your view of the Zoom. And that should minimize the window.
All right.
Should be in the right corner,
It says
upper
view.
right,
Right here.
upper right
upper
corner.
right of your
Oh,
Where it says view.
your
Where
whole
it says
screen.
view.
I don't see that.
Not your PowerPoint,
Go to-
your computer screen.
So Deval, if you take it back from him, and then he should it should allow him to see the whole his Zoom session and his icons.
All right.
So if you just
Hey guys, not to complicate it. Usually, if you just press F5, that'll automatically start your.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Hold on, Nick. Let me get you back host. There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
We got us a technologist. All right.
All right, so my presentation, it's just about, important Black pioneers in their field and how they just did so much for their respective field, and they really pioneered, our place in their field. The first person I have is Patricia Bath. She was born in Harlem, New York in 1942. She graduated Howard with a medical degree in 1968. And in 1973, she would become the first African-American female doctor to complete a residency for ophthalmology. That's, being an eye doctor. And, I find that really, important because, I might not be wearing them now, but I wear glasses. Like when I go to school and I look at, and if I'm sitting in like the middle of the class, I can't see the board. So I'm glad she exists because, she really pioneered in her field. So later in 1983, she would become the first woman to chair an ophthalmology residency. So she's just leading, she's pioneering. And in 1985, she would like, her most important accomplishment was made. She would make the laser phaco probe, and it was groundbreaking in removing cataracts, because before she made the device, they'd have to go in and do like manual surgery with tools on your eye. But when she made the probe, it, you know, revolutionized it and made it just a lot more accurate and just a lot better and more safe. She would be granted that patent in 1988, and more recently, she would found the American Institution for Prevention of Blindness, and their motto is that eyesight is a fundamental human right. So that's why they work with the blind and make sure that, like, you know, they have the proper what's called services. And then I didn't put the date here, but I know it was in 2009, she would be appointed to Barack Obama's Commission for Digital Accessibility for the Blind. And, you know, that's really important now, because as we know, we're on Zoom right now, you know, we're moving into the digital age, and, you know, we have to accommodate everyone, because it's going to become such an important part. Well, it's already become such an important part of our lives. And, you know, everyone needs to be accommodated, and we need to make sure that, you know, we have that equality of opportunity for people with disabilities. So this is a picture of the laser phaco probe, and this is kind of a more in-depth like look on how it works to remove cataracts. All right, so the second person I have is Archie Alfonso Alexander, and he was a great civil engineer, and the craziest part about it is that he's an older one. Like, he was born in 1888. Like, he's been he was in his field for a long time, and he was born in Iowa. You know, he graduated high school in 1905, but, you know, he couldn't afford to go to college yet. But, you know, through hard work, he took a bunch of part-time jobs, and he saved enough to enroll himself into college. And so he enrolls in the College of Engineering at Iowa, and you know, despite the faculty and stuff telling him things like engineering is a tough field, especially for, if I remember the quote correctly, it was engineering is a tough field, and it's twice as tough for a Negro. That was the quote. Like, despite being told things like this, and told things like how I've never heard of a Negro engineer, in 1912, he became the first African-American engineering graduate in the University of Iowa. He would later go on to study civil engineering and bridge design at the University of London. And then in 1929, he would, along with one of his business partners, he would create the Alexander and Repass engineering firm. You know, under this firm, the US government would actually take notice of him and, you know, put him under contract him. That's the word. Contract him for multiple projects in the Maryland, DC area, you know, the Whitehurst Parkway, the Tidal Basin Bridge, and the Baltimore Washington Parkway. And then later in 1954, Dwight Eisenhower would appoint him the governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Wow.
And here's a picture of some of the bridges he designed in, you know, the DC area. And then there's the Tidal Basin Bridge. And that's the end of what I have. But I just want to say that, you know, we are Black history. We can be just like these pioneers of their fields. We just need to be diligent right now. We need to be involved in our studies, have a good attitude towards life. We need to, you know, look for innovations because we are the next generation. And just like these pioneers paved the way for us, we can do the same for future generations and for just years to come for everyone, not just the Black community, for everyone, make everyone's life better with our inventions like the laser foco probe. Not everyone, well, not everyone, but everyone can experience cataracts, and they will affect you no matter what your race is, no matter what your sex is. But when you have improvements in that technology to keep everyone safer and to make everyone's life better, it's not just affecting us, it's affecting everyone, and it's making our names known, and it's making everyone's lives better. Thank you, guys.
Big, nice, man. Good stuff, man.
Good job, Nicholas.
Good job.
Yeah. Really, really good. Aircraft said great information and motivational message. I'm getting text messages from members about you as well, man. That's really good presentation. I apologize, everybody. I meant to actually tell James Dunham he was going first. I got caught up in the moment, but nonetheless, that was really, really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Any mentees got any comments or questions? Any of them?
Good job, Nick.
Hey, good job, bro.
Yeah, good job.
Good job,
good stuff, man.
Thank you, guys.
All
Hey,
right.
this is Mike. I want to say one thing. I grew up and lived in D.C. until I came down here 15 years ago. I did not know about what was just told. So thank you for all the information. I'll pass it on to my grandchildren. Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wonderful. All right.
MOI for 100. Nick is presenting today.
Let me mute Brother Herman. All right. So, all right, guys. Number 2, who should have been number 1, but that's all right. We got it. Where you at, James Dunham? You somewhere on my screen?
Right here.
Oh, there you are. Dead center of the screen. All right, guys. So, James, in the same fashion, I'll let everybody know who you are, what you do, what's your goal at, what your career and goal aspirations are, and what your presentation's about, and have at it. I'm going to make you co-host right now. You got it? All right, buddy. Go for it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is James Dunham, and my dreams and aspirations to be a physician assistant and be in the medical field. But what'd you say? Oh yeah, I've been in the 100 for 3 years now, 3 or 4 years now, and yeah, it's been a great thing that I've been like put into, and I think all the mentors for accepting me. All right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, y'all can see my screen, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. There you go.
My presentation is on Black history. All right. First off, what is whitewash history? Does anybody know?
Yes, when white people take credit for Black people's work.
Right. Whitewash history is to alter in a way that favors, features, or caters to white people. For example, casting a white performer in a film role based on a non-white person or fictional character. In addition, Blacks contributed significantly to American history and the wars and inventions, but is often overlooked and ignored, like Zion said. So historic Black inventors. First off, we got Charles Harrison. Charles Harrison was an American industrial designer from Shreveport, LA. He invented the plastic version of the 3D Viewmaster photograph slide. Photograph slide view that some of us, like myself, have used in our childhood growing up. Second, we have Henry Boyd. After purchasing his freedom, he invented what came to be known as the Boyd bedstead, a corded bed created with wooden rails connected to the headboard and footboard. Benjamin Banneker, the first clock in America was invented by a Black man. This is something in America that we benefit from every day throughout our lives. We had Mary Van Britton Brown. She was the inventor of the home security system in 1966, along with her husband, Albert Brown. This is also a great invention that most people in the world benefit from. Garrett A. Morgan, born in the 19th century to former slaves. Morgan, he created the gas mask along with the traffic light that we use today. And white flight is something I would like to bring up to you guys because it's very important and it still happens to this day. White flight is when Black people move into a predominantly white neighborhood, for example, suburbs. White people think that their property value will go down and fear us if we are in their community, which leads them to relocate to other predominantly white neighborhoods. Here's a quick video I'd like you all to watch about white flight.
And that's, as we talk about Chicago and the South Side, you know, Mom always said she's the one that'll keep our little heads down, will keep us humble. She's like, there are a million Craig and Michelle and Baracks out there. It's just that our stories don't get told. We get caricatured because of the color of our skin, because of fear, because of a whole lot of stuff, because we don't know each other. We think that this family, this beautiful portrait was the portrait of everybody in our neighborhood and of all of our family members. This was not unique. You know, everyone we knew got up every day and did what they were supposed to. They held down jobs. They kept their lawns mowed. They strived to give their kids good values and access to better things, which is one of the reasons we moved from Martin Luther King Drive to 74th and Euclid, because my mom wanted us to have access to then what were better schools. But unbeknownst to us, we grew up in the period, as I write, called white flight. That is families like ours, upstanding families like ours, you know, who were doing everything we were supposed to do and better. As we moved in, white folks moved out because they were afraid of what our families represented. And I always stop there when I talk about this out in the world, because, you know, I want to remind white folks that y'all were running from us, you know, because this family, this family with all the values that you read about, you were running from us, and you're still running because we're no different than the immigrant families that are moving in, the families in Pilsen, the families that are coming from other places to try to do better. But because we can so easily wash over who we really were because of the color of our skin, because of the texture of our hair, you know, that's what divides countries. Artificially as well. Artificial things that don't even touch on the values that people bring to life. And so, yeah, I feel a sense of injustice. And you know this when you're young, you know people are running from you, you know, and you can see it. You can see it all of a sudden. Because we grew up with friends of all races. When we first moved in, Rachel Dempsey and Susan Yacker and I, you know, you had friends of all races. We played together. There were no gang fights. There were no territorial battles. But yet, one by one, they packed their bags and they ran from us. And they left communities in shambles. So when you hear Theaster talking about those, the respect that's in community, that history that's there, especially in Chicago, especially on the South Side, we were a part of creating that history, you know, and a lot of people walked away from it.
Okay, and that's it for my presentation. Is there any other questions?
Unshare your screen.
Yeah, unshare it. All right.
Yep. If we need to, we'll go back. First of all, I want to say thank you for that, guys. You know, fellas, and I definitely want you guys to chime in on this. We heard about the remarks the Lieutenant Governor made about systematic racism, that it didn't exist. I don't know if you guys heard from my state, a brother there, and I want to call him a brother, this black dude, who's a political head in Michigan, my home state, was insulted and appalled that we still have Black history and Black History Month. And your presentation, James, is important because without Black history, everything would be whitewashed.
Right.
Period. What's some of the most astounding things you found out doing your research on this, man?
That they literally stole some of our inventions. Like, they literally stole what we did, like word for word, and put it as their own. And they used it. And it was like, oh, we were the ones who started this type of invention and things from there, like Benjamin Banneker with the clock and everything like that. And that's what I found very different.
Anybody else?
Also, they have got rich off of us from our inventions and everything we've done.
Definitely. Javante Threek said, awesome presentation, gentlemen, well done. Any other comments, thoughts, mentees in particular? Okay, James, really, really good presentation, guys.
Oh, and one other thing,
Go ahead.
I recommend people to read The Color of Law. It's a great book that I've been starting to read about, and it's about white flight, which I presented to you today, and about Black history.
Nice, nice, wonderful. Okay, man, good stuff. Miles, for our senior guys, Miles, the grad, Miles, and Makai Dunn. Gentlemen, where you at? Miles, I'm gonna give you the co-host so you can share your screen, all right?
All right.
All right, so you guys, there you go, fellas, go at it. You got it.
Thank you. So y'all probably know me. I'm Miles, 17, graduated last month, starting school in April. I'm going to school for mechanics. I'm gonna work on cars, and yeah, that's me.
How long you been with the 100, Miles?
6 years, 6, maybe 7. I've been here for a long time, y'all. A long time.
And prior to you doing your presentation, I just want you to know that Michael Jordan's building a race car garage.
I
used to think someday
you need to go work for him. We'll talk about that later. All right, go ahead. You and Makai.
I want to have lots of money. But now I know there's a big difference between having.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Miles. I mean, Makai.
Great morning to y'all. My name is Makai Dunn. I'm the Junior Vice President of the program. I've been in this program since my freshman year, and I'm a senior now. I go to Central Cabarrus High School. I'm 17 years old, and it's a blessing to be in this program.
Thank you.
Screen. Let me see. Okay, so we're gonna talk about unknown, like Black history that they don't teach you in school, but it's not. They usually teach you about the males, and I just want to like point out to y'all that males aren't the only ones that do things for our history. There's females out there that's done huge things for our female community that they don't really talk about. So first we got Annie Lee Cooper. She was born in 1910 and she died in 2010. She was born in Alabama and she has 10 siblings. She dropped out of school in 7th grade, so she didn't even go to high school. After middle school, she was done. And she moved to Kentucky, lived with her sister. She was an African-American civil rights activist in the Selma voting rights. So do you guys know what Selma voting rights is? Does anybody know what that is?
I believe it was the march from Selma, Alabama to either Montgomery or like the capital of Alabama, something like that, to protest, voter suppression.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what is she known for? So she was in Selma to Montgomery, like you said. She's famous for being in Dallas County, Alabama, and she punched one of the sheriffs, Jim Clark, in the jaw. I believe he threatened her. He threatened her with the little stick that the police used to have back then. They used to beat people with. And so she punched him and she went to jail, and then she got released once he threatened that once she got out, he was gonna beat her. So this really was the voting rights of 1965. And I have a little YouTube video here for you all to watch. It's a little short video. Let me see. Just explaining a little more.
Though Ms. Annie Cooper grew up in a system that honored skin color above character, her parents worked hard to provide for her and her 10 siblings. As a wife and mother, Ms. Cooper had already experienced a full life before she put a face on police brutality in Selma. She had already traveled and worked in various capacities. When she heard about the nonviolent effort to gain voting rights, Ms. Cooper set her course towards justice. She attended mass meetings and she stood in voter registration lines. For that, she lost her job. For that, her family's lives were threatened. And for that, she was beaten. On January 25th, 1965, 4 Selma police officers, including Sheriff Jim Clark, beat 53-year-old Annie, who was unarmed after she punched the sheriff. One blow to her head was so severe that it later caused a tumor in her throat. After that beating, Ms. Cooper went to the jail where she was left untreated. When she finally reached the hospital, the only care she received was a bandage to cover the gash. Ms. Cooper didn't know that the photos of police brutality would be printed in the New York Times. She didn't know that they would spark outrage and thus support from across the nation. She didn't know that the support would lead to the passing of the Voter Registration Act of 1965, and she didn't know that one day she'd be living on a street that bears her name. Ms. Cooper, a true foot soldier of a powerful movement, didn't fight for recognition. She fought to change the world, and she did.
So that's just a little bit more about Annie Lee Cooper. I did research on her, and it was really hard to do research on her because whenever you look her name up, the first thing that pops up is Selma, and the movie Selma that's played by Oprah Winfrey. So you got to do like super deep research. So I found that video.
We can barely hear you, Miles. You gotta speak up.
Let me see.
Just speak up, that's all.
So I found this video and I was like, this explains a lot more than what I was able to find. It goes more into depth on what I was able to find because I didn't really want to talk about the Selma movie. That's just it's not 100% accurate. So yeah, that's Annie Lee Cooper, and Makai is gonna talk to you all about Dorothy Heights.
Okay.
So,
No, go ahead.
can we go, that picture you had, wasn't that, I don't think that picture was right, you had on that first slide.
Rosa Parks.
Yeah. Was that, did you mean to do that?
That was one of the pictures when I searched up Annie Lee Cooper. That was the first one that popped up. And I just wanted to show, and the other ones were like black and white, and I wanted to show a picture that was in color because I didn't want it to be black and white. I wanted to show that it was a black person, African American lady.
Yeah, just for clarity, that picture is Rosa Parks.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Why showed up like that?
Okay, so
Thanks.
Who is Dorothy Height? Well, Dorothy Irene Height was born on March 24th, 1912 in Richmond, Virginia. Her family later moved on to Rankin, Pennsylvania, where she excelled as a student. Height eventually received a scholarship to attend college. She received a scholarship to attend college at Barnard College, but was not allowed to attend because the school did not accept African Americans. Dorothy Height is known for being an American civil rights and women's rights activist. She was focused on the issues of African American women, including unemployment, illiteracy, and voter awareness. She worked with the National Council of Negro Women, and abbreviated that is NCNW. So through the NCNW, she focused on ending the lynching of African Americans and restructuring the criminal justice system. I have some more facts that are not listed in this on this slide, but I will speak them out loud. She went to graduate from New York University, where she received a bachelor's in education and a master's in psychology. She joined the staff of the Harlem Young Women's Christian Association and made it nationwide. And she was regularly called to give advice on political issues. And this video is following up information of Dorothy Height.
Well, I think that often I was not so prominently displayed, but I did have the opportunity of working together and had a relationship with each of them. And sometimes there would be times when I could be a part of a leveler or try to bring us together because I had some idea of what each had shared, what each was thinking. But then there were times that people worried about me because they saw me knitting. And I'll never forget Carl Coleman came out of a meeting one day at the Civil Rights, we're planning a Civil Rights Conference, and he said that the chairman worried that I was knitting. And so I said, oh, you know, Eleanor Roosevelt knit all the time. But I said, you know, sometimes I just much better when I'm knitting. When we got back in the meeting and I challenged what had just been done, the chairman came to me afterwards and said, I will never complain about your knitting. Because he said, he realized that I'd heard every word. And I think while sometimes people daydream, if you're knitting, your mind is right where you are because I don't have to learn it. I know it. It's just an activity. Other people doodle.
Yes, and I had read at one point, and this may have been an ongoing thing that you occasionally had to do, that in some of the all-male get-togethers, and you'd be sitting there knitting or whatever, that you on a couple of occasions said something like, well, if to sort of calm things down, if you would listen to a mere woman or something, the opinion of a mere woman. Were you ever?
Well, I never used the term a mere woman, but I would say that. Well, I'll give you an example. Early on, when SNCC was not a part of the United Civil Rights Leadership Group, there was real resistance because it seemed that they were kicking over all of the gains that already had been made. And I had to say, well, as a woman, I cannot sit here and not say that I think we have to have our youth here with us around the table. There was no resistance to it, but they did it. And I think that sometimes it's a matter of being willing to risk speaking up and doing it in a way that helps people understand that you're trying to move something forward. It is not a resistance, it's an effort to move it forward.
How difficult, oops, I'm sorry, is everything okay? How difficult was it for you occasionally to be the only woman in that group? As you said, you were not prominently displayed, as you call it. What were some of the, what were some of the touchy points or difficulties of kind of being the woman in that group for you?
I have to honestly say, I felt that we were a group of peers. I felt at home in the group. There were times when the men differed with each other, and I could help bridge the gap. But I never felt that I needed to fight as a woman. It is true that several times people pointed out to me, and we had a real incident of that often when the pictures were made, that I was on the end and I might be cut off and things of that sort. But in terms of the working relationship, I have to say, I had great respect for those men. Many times in the women's movement, they've asked me, well, why didn't you step forward? Who steps ahead of Martin Luther King Jr. when you're in a march? Do you see? I mean, I think that for me, there's always a way of looking at who am I in this situation and what do I do? And if I can help move it, or if I can help bridge, I try to do that.
So that was Annie Lee. That was Dorothy Heights. That was just her thoughts about the movement and everything like that. So now we're gonna talk about our final person is Ruby Bridges. She was born in 1954. She is alive to this day. She was born September 8th. She's the oldest of 5 children, and she was born in Mississippi. She moved to Louisiana. I feel like this lady, I feel like she's so important because of what she did at a young age. She moved to Louisiana during New Orleans school desegregation crisis, and she graduated from a desegregated high school and became a travel agent. And she got married and had four children, 4 sons. So what she's known for is she was the first African American child to desegregate the all-white William Frantz Elementary School in Louisiana during the New Orleans school desegregation crisis on November 14th, 1960, which I feel like is really a good thing because she desegregated it, and 2, it's like she didn't know what she was doing. She thought she was just being a normal child doing a normal thing, which I just find is so like great. Every day when she had to go to school, her and her mother, they always needed four marshals to take them to the school just because of the crowds and all the people that were being mean and all the people that were trying to get them kicked out of the neighborhood, not going to the school. She said she wasn't really scared, but she got scared one time when she saw a white lady holding a black baby doll inside of a coffin. That's when she actually like started to realize what was going on and how much trouble, well, I wouldn't say trouble, but what she caused, just trying to be a normal little kid going to school to get her education. So she's a lifelong activist for racial equality, and she established a thing called the Ruby Bridges Foundation, which helped create changes in 1999. She was made an honorary deputy marshal in a ceremony in Washington, D.C. I'm gonna go back for a second. She has this quote, and I really like this quote. I've seen it and it stuck out to me. It says, "Don't follow the path, go where there is no path and begin the trail. When you start a new trail equipped with courage, strength, and conviction, the only thing that can stop you is you." I just feel like that quote is very powerful. Does anybody in here want to like try to tell me what that means or what they think that means to them?
I think that it means like if like the trail that you're on, like sometimes you can't do anything about it. So sometimes you gotta make your own trail, and you gotta like change the way you do things because sometimes like I know some people they don't really get to control how they live, and sometimes they gotta like change how they live to change their life.
Yeah, I like that. And then when you make your own trail, who can really stop you? Nobody can stop you unless you give up unless you get tired of it and you're like, I can't do this anymore. Which you should never do. You should never give up. If you fail, failure is not failure. Failure is a lesson. You learn from your failures and you learn how to do better, how to make a different mistake the next time. You're gonna fail like 2 or 3 times before you actually get it right. But every time you fail, that's just a learning lesson on how to be better and what you can do differently to succeed. That's just how I think about it. And that's how I think about life. And here's a small video, like 3 minutes, and it just explained a little bit more about Ruby Bridges.
I'd already gone to kindergarten at an all-black school where everybody looked exactly like me, my teacher and all of the other kids and all of the other teachers and principal. So I was accustomed to school. I knew pretty much what to expect, I thought. But I remember these 4 very tall white men knocking on the door and saying, "We're here to escort you and your daughter to school today." That indeed did not happen on my way to kindergarten. They were raising their hands. Some of them were holding signs up, but it looked exactly like Mardi Gras. I really thought that we had stumbled into a Mardi Gras parade that day. So the innocence of a child, that's really what protected me that day. Mrs. Henry was the only teacher that would teach me. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from her. She looked exactly like the mob outside. She was an amazing teacher, and I knew she cared about me. And so the real lesson that I took away in first grade in that classroom is that it's the same lesson Dr. King tried to teach us. You can't judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. That lesson has shaped me into the person that I am today. You can't tell the story of history just by leaving out certain things that you don't want them to know or see. You can't do that. You can't tell part of the truth. You have to tell the whole truth. You have to show it to them so that they do understand. And that is our responsibility. I've seen hope in the eyes of our children for 25 years. Hope that most people haven't seen. But I get a chance to see it every day in every school across this country. So I just think there's so many opportunities to change now, to do better, and to do better by our young people. And so what I would say to kids today is that's exactly what we see playing out before us. It may have taken 60 years for this to resurrect all over again, but the young people have taken to the streets. So I do believe that it's a new generation. What we did back in 1960 moved us to this point.
And these are a couple of her books. If you guys want to check her out and read a little bit more about her. Ruby Bridges School, The True Story of Ruby Bridges, and Through My Eyes by Ruby Bridges. Yes, that's our presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Excellent. Outstanding, guys. Unshare your screen.
Thank you.
Any comments, thoughts, remarks from any of the mentees and or mentors, actually? Let me unpin some of these. Anybody?
Great presentation, Miles.
Thank you.
Great teamwork, guys.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it.
Makai, good work.
Yeah.
Definitely. Great job.
This is very educational to me because I didn't even know some of these folks. So, you know, I've been around for quite a while and didn't know. So that was great piece of work.
That's true, guys. He's been around a long time.
Lots of seconds on that, Ed. Lots of seconds on that.
Yeah, and in each presentation, I actually did learn something. So I share your sentiments, Brother Terry. That was very informative.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. But that's the standard now. Oh, snap. Again, guys, thank you so much, James, Miles, Makai, Nicholas. Hey, guys, appreciate you. Very, very much.
Duvall?
Yes, sir.
This is Calvin again. Say to Nick, really am encouraged by him wanting to become a commercial pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my good friends right here in Charlotte is Captain Carl Gamble. And he's got a book out called My Blue Yonder. And his generation was right after the Tuskegee Airmen. And he came from humble beginnings and was became a commercial pilot and worked for one of the major airlines, Piedmont Airlines, and that was around Charlotte here before Delta and all of those came into being. But got his home number. If Nick wants it, he can give him a call. But by all means, take a look at the book, My Blue Yonder. Excellent read.
Well, his mentor's on here, Brother Herman Williams, and he's a helicopter pilot, so I'm sure they interest him as well. So
awesome.
There goes some more stuff, Herm.
Hey, that's good. You know, you can never have too many mentors. So Nick, definitely get his contact and reach out to him, because every story, it makes you even stronger and strengthen your path to achieve your goals. So thank you.
All right.
Cal.
Thank you so much. Like, I just looked up the book and I'll probably order it soon. So
awesome.
So guys, mentees, again, those are your colleagues, man, and everybody's going to get a chance to do something like this in the not too distant future. This season and next, of course. And I want to mention the last presentation when you've seen the colored only, this and the other, and you've seen the one sign that said white neighborhood only or something like that. Don't think for 1 minute that don't exist in Charlotte, North Carolina. Because it does. You just don't see the signs blatantly like that anymore. My point with that is, and if anybody doubts it, I'm sure there's a bunch of us that can give you examples of how it exists. It's through systematic racism, of course. What I'm saying is you got to be cognizant, even at your young age, of everything that's going on, even the most subtle things that you might think, man, what does that really mean? You got to investigate this stuff, because I mean, it's still there. It's just well hidden. And they're trying to do their best to document less as possible, but it's there. I'm experiencing with a project I'm working on with a guy doing some development in Beatty's Forest, LaSalle area. It's still there. So just be cognizant, be aware, and do like these gentlemen, research, know your stuff.
Hey, Brother Duvall.
Yes, sir.
It's underlined by calling it pricing out the market. So what's happening is in these communities, in the particular like Charlotte or some areas, when you say white-only communities, they just price you out the market to make sure you can't get in, or your relative won't take you there, or the banks won't loan you the money. I mean, it's all these kinds of things that goes on.
Yeah,
call it redlining.
Yeah.
The brother who I'm working with, he's the first Black developer. Think about this, y'all. The first Black developer in Beatty's Fort LaSalle area. So he's got the two properties that he's renovating where McDonald's Cafe used to be. So he's renovating that, and even though he has Hugh McCall behind him, somebody can elaborate on Hugh McCall if you want to, he's still having issues getting loans. Credit score is through the roof. Legacy and history of paying bills on time, impeccable. He's still having a hard time. He told me that how they do the gentrification, and if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, that if you buy 3 lots of land in a certain area, side by side, and you develop or put a new house on all three of those, because those three are consecutive or side by side, they will increase the tax value of the entire neighborhood. And that's what's happening. These people are going to buy these lots, 3 lots in a row, to put new property value in. And like Brother Terry says, now the value goes up in the houses, the taxes go up. And they say, well, to live here, you got to pay, $4,000 a year in taxes. If you can't live there, guess what? You got to get out. So it still exists. Still exists. So again, gentlemen, anybody else, any remarks before I turn over brother Reggie Grant?
Just a quick question. I don't believe I know Aiden Garcia. Aiden? Oh, Aiden.
Yeah, I'm here.
Is that your picture there?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's my dad's picture.
Okay, so you got some big ears there, buddy. All right. You must be new. I don't think I know you.
Yeah, I'm new. It's my first day.
Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
I'm Aiden. I'm 15 years old.
And?
I lived in Mexico.
Okay.
Nice.
And where you go to school?
Bradley.
Bradley. And what grade are you in?
8th.
8th. All right. You got to get used to introducing yourself.
Can you get a picture of yourself? Can you come online so we can see you?
Yeah, all mentees should know that if you got a phone or a camera, that thing needs to be on. Every mentee.
Oh, okay.
One of our policies.
Where'd you go?
Where'd you go, buddy? Still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Or must be page 2 on mine.
Aiden, what part of Mexico are you from?
Tijuana.
Tijuana, okay.
Aiden, what types of activities you like to do? What are some of the hobbies you have and some sports you like to play?
I like playing football.
Are you on the high school football team?
No.
Hey, Aiden, American football or soccer?
No, American football.
All right.
I can't find him anymore. Did he disappear? I'm looking.
No, he's here.
Searching screens. I don't see him.
Neither do I.
Hey, we're not picking on you, but everybody, particularly if we were in person, you'd have to stand up in front of the whole room and go through what you just went through. So don't think we're picking on you. We do that for all the new guys.
All right.
Any other new guys on? Quave, did you cut your hair? Okay. Sorry.
I just wanted to run something because I think the conversation previously really tees up really well the building wealth session. Someone mentioned previously redlining. So redlining related to an affirmative actionist policy, one of the biggest affirmative actionist policies that help white homeowners buy homes without any money down or very, very low money down. That policy also prohibited Black homeowners from doing the same thing, and it kept them out of certain communities. Today, you don't need redlining because, as was mentioned earlier, there's some areas around this country where you're priced out. And when we go through the wealth session, one of the things we're going to talk about is financial freedom. And talking about financial freedom, if you have the finances, there are fewer ways today that the government and the various racist systems, let's call it what it is, various racist systems can continue to work against you and prohibit you from living where you want to live and do the things that you want to do. That was all.
That's gonna be good to talk about too. All right, guys. We're halfway through. Again, thank you, mentees. That's junior VPs. That's good stuff, guys. Look at the discussions you started. That's really, really cool. All right, Brother Grant, you got it. I don't know if you want to do a break and then get into it, or I started the breakout rooms, but you have to finish and put the time on, that you want the room. But you want to take from here?
Yeah, we can take a break. When you come back, just go, I'll open up the breakout rooms. There's one for the middle school and one for the high school, named accordingly.
They can assign themselves.
Sorry?
They can assign themselves. I put that option in there.
Okay. But yeah, after the break, you just go into your appropriate breakout room. Brother Brown's gonna be leading the high school, and Brother Hook is gonna be leading the middle school.
What, 10-minute break?
That's fine, whatever you decide. The other thing is, we need to make sure that you rename your name so that you've got mentor next to it or mentee, based on what you are. Make sure you do that.
All right, guys. Be back at 10:55. Look, 10:55 means your camera needs to be on. You back on the call. All right.
Should I just leave them because that's the time that I was planning to go my football
That's fine,
meeting?
Jeff. We talked about that.
All right, thank you.
And KJ, you know what to do when you come back.
All right.
All right.
Say, Reggie,
Morgan, how you been, man? Brother Brian Morgan, how you been?
Brother Duval, how you doing? You doing okay?
Yeah, Brother Means got me working hard, man.
Yeah, you working.
You got a job for me, man, over there at I want to work less.
Hey, we going in the movie business, and I'm looking to work with you.
I got some news for you. We'll talk after this call.
It's a time.
Brother Robert Taylor, what's going on with you? We can't even hear you, man. You just run your mouth. Can't nobody even hear you, which is probably a good thing.
Hey, look, I text you. I changed your picture and I hadn't heard back from you, man.
Look,
can you hear?
Appreciate that. You need to change, brother.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there. That ain't.
What's his name?
Kendra, man. Leave Kendra alone, man.
You gotta get that Winos picture off the website, man.
Hey, all the way there, bro. You gonna go all the way to the Wino?
Yeah, I wish he was on this call so bad, but it's recorded, so I'll send him a copy.
Hey, he reminds me.
You can pause the recording until we start back.
All right, there you go, brother Reggie.
All right, all the rooms are now open.
Hey, Reggie, I should be able to share, right, when I get in?
Yeah, I'm gonna go in. Yeah.
Well, everybody's assigned themselves quickly. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't see that option.
I don't either.
To go into the room yourself?
No.
Yeah.
Which room you want to go in, Aaron?
Doesn't matter.
All right, here we go. Middle school first. Hey, Adam Garcia, what are you, a high school or middle school? You said 8th grade, right? Put him in that room.
Uh-oh.
Brother Kelvin, you want to go to the high school room? Let's see.
I think that's what he said, high school.
Yeah, where you want to go, Brother Terry?
You can put me in high school, but you can wherever I'm needed. You know, wherever you think I should.
Well, let me know if you want to. You can come out the room. We can push back another one.
Okay, high school is fine.
All right.
And Val, I tried to get into a room, but I don't know if I can get into one or not.
I'll find it. I'm
Brandon.
What's up, Herman?
All right, who was that? Let me see. That was
Brandon.
Rob.
Brother Lawrence Brandon. Which room you want to go to? Middle school or high school?
It doesn't matter.
All right, there you go. You gone. Cameo. Brother Jacobs, Dr. Roll, Emmanuel Reed. Emmanuel, what grade are you in? Emmanuel Reed.
In
What grade?
8th grade.
All right, there you go, buddy.
Hey, Duval.
Yes, sir.
Can you put me in high school, please?
Done.
Thanks.
Who else?
Duval, put me in high school.
All right, there you go. Robert Taylor, Wallace Shields, Victor Mack, Julius. Julius, what grade? How old are you, Julius?
I'm 13.
What grade? I'm sorry. What grade you in?
I'm 7th grade.
All right, there you go. Jordan
Brother
Taylor.
Moore, put back for high school.
Okay, brother, I got you. Brother Moore.
For high school.
Okay, there you go. Jordan Taylor, what grade you in, buddy? Hey, Jordan. Can you hear me? I think he's middle. Okay, we got Cammy over, Dr. Jacobs, iPhone not joined. I'm not sure who iPhone is. James. But what about you, brother Mac?
I got it, Duval. I'll join the high school in just a minute.
Who's James's iPhone? I don't know who that was. He's gone already. Okay. Cool. All right, let me
Hey, Brother Duvall,
yes.
the one and only.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Not much, sir.
I'm gonna keep my video on for you so you know.
Yeah, I got you, man. All right, so I need to get myself in the room. I'm unassigned. Okay, I'm gonna go in this room for a little bit, man. Take some pictures, man. Oh, let me get Jordan Taylor. I thought I assigned him to a room. Jordan Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Can you enable me to share my screen?
Yeah, let me get Deval. Hold on.
I'm right here.
Yeah. Deval, you in there?
Yeah. What do you need?
Can you enable the sharing for both rooms for John, Brother Brown, and Brother Hook?
John Brown. Tell them they got to come out of the room to the main room, and I'll assign them as co-hosts. I can't do it from here.
Okay, go back to the main room, Mike.
Go back.
Yeah.
Go back to the main room.
Yeah.
All right, let me leave.
And then all right, Mike, I just made you a co-host.
All right.
You're good. So, Brother Brown.
Okay, I'm
All
back.
right. He said he made me co-host. I just need to go back to the breakout room. Yeah.
All right, Brother Brown, I just made you a co-host as well.
I should be good. Reggie.
All right,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Proud about that part.
Jumping back in. Let's see.
Can you get back in?
Wait, let me,
Should be able just to do it.
yeah, I can do it now.
Okay.
Come. It is not letting me join. Let's see. Yes, high school, join. Join.
And according to this, let me see. Do I see your name at all? It's not showing me.
Let me leave. I'll come back into this meeting.
Okay. Okay.
And then.
Okay.
Brother Duval. Somehow I got kicked out going into the breakout room.
I don't know how that happened. Let me get ready to go in here right now.
Okay.
Which room you want to go in?
It doesn't matter. I think you put me into the middle school, I think.
Okay. All right, Brother John, I need to make you co-host.
High school. Yeah.
That.
Am I good?
Then high school.
Yes, I got it now.
Okay.
Back to that. You good, John?
Let's see. As
Should
long
be.
as I share my screen. It's still disabled.
It shouldn't be because you're a co-host.
Brother Grant, can you share your screen?
I can, but I'm gonna be jumping. What you got? What do you have? I can.
I can't just share my screen.
Okay. Send me what you need to share.
Someone.
I'll send it to you. It's that same one.
You to keep your money in the bank. That's right. They pay you what's called interest. In other words, you make money on your money. You're paid a percentage of the amount that's in your
The previous session is we want to create a supportive environment for ourselves. The idea here again is growing. The idea is not about being right. The idea is about participation. So I'm going to stop many times during this. I'm going to ask, questions of you guys because I want this to be a more interactive conversation. If there's something that isn't understood, or if you guys want to go deeper into a specific area, just let me know. Right? We're all here to support each other. I learned a lot from you guys earlier in terms of the session, so we're all learning from each other as well. Let's just keep it all supportive. And again, the idea is not about being right. The idea is about growth and about learning here. Today, we're going to talk about saving. We're going to talk about investing. We're going to talk about building wealth. We're really talking about financial freedom here.
John,
what's that, Reggie?
Which course you want me to go to?
Course 4, please. So if you go back one.
The information.
Are you saving money for anything special? I'm saving for my own computer. It's going to take some serious saving to get there, but I'm saving. The money keeps adding up. Banks offer several types of savings accounts. My savings are in a regular savings account at the bank. I earn interest that's paid every month. Another safe savings account is called a certificate of deposit, or a CD. Your money must stay in the account for a fixed period of time, also called a term. But in return, you'll get a higher interest rate than you would with a regular savings account. And finally, there are money market accounts. They're really savings accounts that allow you to write a limited number of checks. You'll get to know about checking accounts in a bit, but for now, just know that money market accounts generally have higher interest rates than regular savings accounts.
All right, guys. So kind of like what I was just talking about before, there are other different savings accounts that are out there.
What we're talking about here. We're talking about financial freedom and how to build a nice nest egg for ourselves. We're talking about how to build the financial means at the end of the day. When I talk about financial freedom, how do I define that? I define that as having the financial means to meet our goals. And our goals could be, and you'll see sometimes I'm going to deviate from the standard words here in the standard session. Our goals might be to get stuff, Our goals might be to support our family members. Our goals might be to live a life that's aligned with our principles, right? And we'll go into some specific scenarios where by aligned principles, I'll give y'all a very personal story. So I'm a lender, that's my job. Someone showed me a loan to a prison. Because I have good financial wealth, good financial stability, if I needed to leave my job, I could leave my job. So when I saw that opportunity, I said no. I said, as a firm, we should not be investing in prisons. Luckily, my colleagues, I shouldn't say luckily, I expected my colleagues would agree, and my colleagues did agree. But things like that, if I didn't have the financial background, I may not have been able to say no. I may not have been able to continue to live my life in a way that's in accordance with my principles. Just a very specific example. But let's back up. Let's talk about what's specifically here. So the first thing when we talk about saving, the first thing is really talk about a savings account. And hopefully you guys have gone through a little bit on what a savings account is. I'm actually going to stop there and ask the question, have you gone through that? Have you gone through what a savings account is? Joshua, you're the first person that's showing up on my screen, so I'm calling you out. Have you heard in any of the previous sessions? Have you gone through what a savings account is?
Yeah, I'm sure I hear that all the time.
Okay, great. And it's just that you have some cash, you put the cash in the bank, right? What a savings account gives you, what a checking account does not. A savings account in a normal environment gives you interest. So you're giving your bank your cash, you do absolutely nothing. That cash sitting there earns interest. So let's say the interest rate is 10% for the sake of making the numbers easy. I put $100 into my savings account. Every year, if my annual interest rate is 10%, every year I earn $10. I do absolutely nothing. A savings account is considered very safe. In fact, it's guaranteed by the federal government. So even if the bank goes away, the bank goes bankrupt, you still get your $100 back. A savings account allows you access to that cash whenever you need it. You just go to an ATM machine, you got quick cash. And I'm going to differentiate this from other types of investments where they aren't as, it's called liquidity, where you don't have the same access to that cash. And again, we've talked about the interest rate. And so when we think about a savings account, there's two things we want to think about. One thing we want to think about is what level of interest are they paying? The other thing we're going to think about is how frequently do I get paid that interest? And that's the concept of compound interest. Reggie, if you're still there, if you can scroll down, and I'm sorry that this is not, I should be able to do this on my own screen, but it's not working. Well, the videos aren't working either. So just keep scrolling down. Yeah, compound interest. Keep scrolling down. There's a chart, I believe, at the bottom of this. There it is, right there. So here you've got two accounts. One account pays no interest. $5 a day. Oh, this is compounding. So one account, $5 no interest. Yes, one account, you're putting in $5 a day and you're not earning any interest at all. And that's the first one. The next account, $5 a day, and you're earning 5% interest, and it's compounded daily. What does it mean to be compounded daily? It means every day you get a little bit more interest. Every day you get a little bit more interest. So and this is just to make the numbers easy, go back to our early example. If I invested 100, at the end of the first year, I have 110 because I got $10 in interest. Guess what? If I have the same interest rate of 10%, how much interest am I getting? I'm getting more than $10 because my base is now not 100, my base is 110. 110 times 10%, right? I'm getting $11 of interest instead of $10 of interest. I'm actually getting $1 extra interest. Next year, that $11 increases. The next year, that is about $12 that increases. It keeps increasing. That's called compounding. A very easy way when you're looking at a savings account to tell, am I earning more on this account in this savings account? If I'm choosing between savings accounts, am I earning more again on savings account A versus savings account B? Is a concept called the APR. APR, annual percentage rate. The annual percentage rate takes into account this compounding complex thing. It takes into account the interest rate, takes into account everything. It just says, what's the percent that I earn on savings account A and what's the percent that I earn on savings account B? To personalize it, we now have the internet, right? When I looked at savings accounts, I go online, I type in what's the highest savings account that I can get. I look for names that I recognize because you don't want to bank with a name that you don't recognize. And a lot of times it's the online savings accounts that don't even have bank branches. So one of the banks that I bank at is American Express Bank. You've never seen an American Express Bank branch. They don't have any. But what they do offer is a very, very high interest rate, relatively. There are no high interest rates today for this type of product, but relatively high interest rate that enables me to earn money just by the fact that I have some savings in that account. I want to stop there for questions. And I'm not going to continue until I get at least 2 questions. So does anyone have any questions about a savings account, compound interest, or anything else?
To be sure, you said compound interest was what again?
Compound interest is the frequency at which you earn interest. So if I'm earning interest at a faster interval, so one example, in our example of $100, I earn interest 1 time a year. But what if I earned interest quarterly? What if I earned interest every month? Some accounts you earn interest every day. What you'll find is at the end of that year, if I'm earning interest more frequently, that's compounding. If it's compounding more frequently, I would have more at the end of a given year. The other idea of compound interest is if I invest earlier, the more time that I have for interest to compound, the more periods where I continue to get a little bit more interest, a little bit more interest, a little bit.
That's connected to your savings account, and you'll make sure you put that on the deposit slip. But also, I hope you guys were able to pay attention. The 2 forms of currency that you can deposit is cash. Well, the 2 forms that they went over is cash and checks. So if you guys ever get a check written to you, like for your birthday, like your grandma wrote you a check, or your grandfather or a family member, normally times they probably wrote it out to your mom, but once they start writing it to you, you can take it directly to your savings account and deposit it, and follow those steps on depositing money into your savings account. So we'll move on to savings deposit with the ATM card. This is probably the most common way people are communicating with banks now, ATM cards.
If your savings account is co-signed with a
Before you get the check, is you can direct your bank to take 5% out of that check, take 10% out of that check. Yeah, I can tell you, I spend about 50% of what I make. That's it. In fact, it's about 45% of what I make in an annual year. That's it. I pay myself first. The rest goes into investments. The rest goes into investments. So we've got that. We've got that.
Brother John Brown, are you saying that the investment is paying yourself?
I'm saying when we think about saving and investing, when we think about saving and investing, if we can take the money that we want to use as saving and investing, if we can take that out of the check that we get every month, or we can take that out of the cash flow that we're generating every month, and the first thing that we do is put that in the savings account. The first thing that we do is put a portion of that into the savings account, call it 10%. The first thing that we do is take a portion of that and put it in our investment account. It decreases the risk that when we're buying stuff, when we're spending, we overspend. The way I look at it, in fact, before I get my check, I already have the bank taking out money to put it in my investments, to put it in my savings account. The amount remaining is the amount that I know that I can budget. And I think one of the previous sessions are talking about budgeting. You can think about budgeting and saying, all right, I have a budget and my budget is all the money that I make. Or you can think about a budget and you say, it's not all the money that I make. It's all the money that I make after I already took out from my savings. That's paying yourself first. I don't even think, if I make $100, I don't even think about the $100. I think about the $50 that's left after saving, because I paid myself first. It's not even negotiable. It's not even negotiable. Already paid myself first. And the reason I do it is not just to be frugal or first. The reason I do it is because there's things that I want. There's a way that I want to live in terms of giving to others, in terms of some stuff that I want. Let's be real. And the only way that I can do that is by saving over time. It allows me to accomplish my goals over time. That's a great question. Thank you for it. Is that helpful?
Perfect. Thank you for the connection.
All right, let's move to the next session, which is investing basics.
And prior to that, I need you guys to turn your cameras on. Go ahead.
Great. Brother Grant, can you play this video, please?
Putting money in a savings account is one way to make it grow. Investing is another. The main idea behind investing is to put money you've saved into things you think will go up in value over time. Things like stocks or bonds or real estate. The trick is to buy when the price is low, then try to sell when the price is high. That's how you make a profit. One big difference between saving and investing is that investing always involves risk. If the value of your investment goes up, you could earn more money than you would in a savings account. But if the value goes down, you could lose some or even all of your money. That's why you should never invest money that you can't afford to lose. And that's why before you invest, we want to make sure you know the basics of what investing's all about and how it works.
All right, that was a good short video. Now we're switching gears now. This is about savings versus investing. If I put money in a savings account, it is, and I'm going to use the most powerful word that I can use as a finance guy. It's risk-free. I don't say that very often, and it's hard for me to say it. It's guaranteed. Those are words you can go to jail for saying that, because most investments aren't guaranteed. Most investments aren't risk-free. If you put it in the bank, it's risk-free. The government actually insures it. It's risk-free. We're stepping away from that. Brother Grant, can you switch to the investing tab? So it's on the savings tab right now, right in the middle. Yeah, just to the right of that. Click that. Yeah. No. All right. Now we're in investing. So investing, we're taking some risk. We might make some money. We might lose some money. When taking risk, we should expect to earn a higher return. If I put cash into a bank account today, I may get 0.25% of interest. Interest rates are very low. If instead I put money
start using checking and savings accounts, you have to make sure you read the fine print on these accounts because a lot of them come with restrictions. A lot of them come with how many times you can withdraw money from an account per month. So that's good stuff that you want to know because what the bank will do if you don't follow those restrictions, they'll fine you and you'll end up getting some money taken from you. We'll go ahead and start with savings accounts, register, and statement.
So far, we've been making deposits to and withdrawals from our practice account. Have you kept track of everything we just did? Like how much cash did you get back? It may not seem obvious, but unless you keep your receipts and write down your transactions, it's hard to know exactly how much money you have in your savings account. You have to keep track of it. Plus, you want to see your money grow, right? Check this out. It's my savings account register. It's what I use to keep track of my money coming in and going out of my savings account. I even write down which transactions I did in the bank and which ones using an ATM. I keep my receipts and record them in my register right away. Now it's your turn to practice. Use this information to fill in a blank savings register. Just enter each item, then calculate the new balance. Remember, when you make a withdrawal or take money out of your savings account, you subtract. When you make a deposit or put money into your savings account, you add. Now let's try some activities. Every month, the bank sends me a statement, which is a summary of all the deposits and withdrawals on my account, as well as any interest I earned. I compare each item on the statement with my account register, just to be sure I didn't miss anything. Plus, my statement shows the interest I earned over the month. As you can see, I entered every transaction. The last withdrawal in my register will show up in next month's statement. Later in the lesson, Balancing Your Checkbook, you'll see how to make sure the bank's records and yours are the same. Balancing your checkbook helps you know exactly how much money you have in your account.
See, that was a very good tutorial on why it's important to keep track of the money that's coming in and the money that's going out. Because one of the things, banks can make errors too, and if you don't know how much money you put in there or money that's coming out and you're not paying attention to it, you'll never catch it. So balancing your checkbook, looking at your statements, you'll be surprised. It could be one day you'll see a charge that was on your account, money that was taken out of your account that was by accident. And if you don't pay attention to it, you won't catch it. And therefore, the bank won't have a reason to research it unless somebody else brings it up. So that was a very, very good informative site that we went through. I hope you guys take heed to that because when you start balancing your checkbook, you have to be very aware of how much money you're spending. Compared to how much money you have in there. If you spend more than you have in there, two things can happen. You will either get declined when you go to swipe your card in the store, or you will get an overdrawn fee, which means your account will now be overdrawn and the bank, again, you will get a fine. So those things that as you growing up, it is possible it's going to happen, and it's okay. But that's a learning step for you to realize, okay, I have to be very mindful and pay a lot of attention to my checking account and to my savings account. Make sure that I'm taking the necessary steps to be be mindful of how much money I'm spending, and just make sure you pay attention to it. So we're going to move on to savings. We did that one. Saving for things. We kind of talked about this earlier, but let's see. Saving for things. Oh, we have a little quiz.
Now that you know all about savings accounts, let's take a look at what it would take to save up for these items. When you've finished, ask yourself how long it will take to save up for what you really want.
All right, so we got a little quiz down here. This should be interesting. All right, so you have $100 in your savings account. If you save $30 per month, how long will it take you to save enough to buy a new computer that costs $500? This price includes sale tax. Remember to round up to the nearest whole number. Note, use the calculator above for help. All right, guys, so what do you guys think? I already have $100 in my account. I want to buy a computer that costs $500. I'm saving $30 per month. How long will it take me to get
15 months.
Who has the answer?
Is it 15 months?
Is it 15 months? So how much money do we need to save?
Like $500.
Yeah, so we already have $100 in our account. How much we need to save to get to 500?
400.
400. All right. So how long will it take us?
4 months.
4 months. So if you're saving $30 per month, you're 30, 60, 90, 120. So that's only getting you 120 bucks. You're gonna have to go a little bit longer than 4 months. Calculator out.
Yeah, I think it would be 15 months.
You think it'd be 15 months?
I think it's gonna be 14 months.
14 months. So I got 14, I got 15. Okay.
Yeah, because 14 months gets you $490.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 14, 15. Anybody else got an answer? Let's see. We're gonna go with 14 months. That was 14 months is correct. 14 months is correct. So you're saving for 14 months, you're saving $30 per month. And then that's gonna get you to $500. So that's one thing that you'll have to, that's how you budget. That's one of the things, and when you get to you having money in your savings account, these are one of the things that you want to make sure you're doing each month. You're saving, you're putting that money to the side, you know, so that one day you can afford it. And this is very, very good information. This is a very good step when you guys get to saving money. Let's go on to checking account.
Another tool for keeping your money safe and easy to access is called a checking account. Checking accounts usually don't earn interest, but they give you greater access to your money. A checking account is just as easy to open as a savings account. In fact, opening a checking account will probably require the same IDs as you need for a savings account. But before you and your parent or guardian head to the bank, be sure to ask what information they require. Checking accounts are for money you spend day to day, and banks provide checks so you can use your money without using cash. When you open a checking account, your bank will probably offer you
Okay, got it. Okay.
There you go, Brother Moore.
Thank you.
Brother Moore, which you want to go to one of these rooms? Which one you want to go to?
The senior.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jordan Taylor must have gone to sleep, didn't he? He had his
Yeah.
What's going on, Jim Moore? Sally Moore?
Just hit join.
Yeah, just hit join.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
How pathway's going?
Huh?
Pathway's going.
It's going. Not a lot of kids. I didn't count, but about 10.
I thought they had like 24.
Well, registered, but when I looked at the call, there was only like, I counted about 10 kids. I mean, you know, you subtract the mentors, so
yeah,
I've been 24 pitches. But you had a good group at one time. We had 61 on. So
wow.
On MOY, I've got a picture of it. So
okay.
Since things are moving, it's kind of hard to get all 3 screens, but I usually capture it big enough where it says participants 61.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I sent Reggie the screenshot, so he's good. I think I sent him 15 slides. So
I thought the presentations were good. The senior guys, I thought the younger guys actually did better than the senior guys. They filled their content with those videos, which were in my mind way too long for what.
Yeah, the first one especially.
Yeah, so I mean, they could have had a whole lot more content if they'd have just very briefly did the video.
Yep. So we'll talk about that next time we chat.
But they think we just fell off the turnip truck, so we know that they did that to fill in time, right? So.
Hey man, I got a good idea. It came out of that League of Mentors call, which went really well. We talk about that?
No, I didn't get the thing. I was signed on to that thing. If I didn't have the.
I thought for sure you had something to do.
No,
I didn't send it.
I don't know.
It went well. We had how many kids did we have? I got it right here. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 kids.
Mm-hmm.
13, 12, 11 kids. And it went well. We all just kind of talked to them, told them what we did and do and all that stuff. And they engaged a little bit and talked and chatted with us. You know, it was a couple of kids that was impossible to reach. One was that Kevin Jackson. His mama had told me in advance, he don't want to cooperate. He don't want to participate. He don't want to get to know nobody. He just don't want to be here.
Was that the big guy that was at the movie thing the other day, had on the gold, and his mom was there? That's not him, is it? Because he was really quiet.
Not sure. I don't remember. But this kid was his name was Kevin Jackson. And hey Kevin, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you like to do? I don't know. Everything was I don't know. You know, it just and I was emailing her mom back and forth during the LOM. So I'm like, don't worry about him. She said, right. She said, good grade, gets good grades. Said, all that. I'm like, well, that's happy battle.
Yeah.
She said, he just But see, his daddy in his life, daddy don't keep his word. Daddy don't call nothing. I said, and that only happened like about 4 or 5 years ago. So,
Mhm.
so he's a bit. I told her, I said, he just rebellious and hurt right now. I said, and he
Yeah.
project his anger up at you. She said, well, I ain't the one because I'm from Brooklyn. So I'm like, okay, I know what that means.
You know, whoops out his head.
It's do it quick.
Don't y'all talk about me, I'm back.
Yeah, we see.
Whoa, shoot, I didn't see you there.
Unfortunately, you got your camera turned on, so you know. I haven't talked to you in a long time, Ed.
Yeah, yesterday. Did you get John Spain?
Huh?
Did you get John Spain?
He never did call me back.
You want me to follow up?
Yeah, if you would. I think we're okay. You know, because I think that thing. It looks like it's behind, but it actually spans. It would be like 218 and 219.
Yeah, I thought that's the only one I remember signing because I haven't signed the one this year yet.
Right. I would want him to tell us that though. Yeah. You know, Duval, this is concerning the Mirancus grant. They were wanting a copy of our last tax filing, and our 990 says 2018, but we're thinking that's 2018, 2019. It's a little different for businesses than it is for individuals. So, you know, we do one every year, but I think these kind of carry over. I don't know. They want the latest. That's the latest one we could find. So,
okay. Huh.
Yeah, we don't want to lose that one. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. What is that? 50,000?
30.
30. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey,
the other thing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say what came out that meeting. It was actually the idea was sparked by listening to our brother Shields talk about his career to the kids, about him being a Secret Service and all that. And it hit me. I said, you know, we need to do it. I'm gonna put together 100 Black men career expo and break out into a bunch of different rooms. Like Ed's a finance guy, so Ed and all the finance money people be in the room. You know,
I'm not a finance guy. I'm an engineer. I'm a chemist.
Are you?
Yeah.
You guys are kidding me. I did. Okay, so you and Aaron's half brother Bill Cook be in the same room, but I'm gonna find out what everybody does career wise. Invite them to this career day. Where we just sit in the chat room in these different breaker rooms and talk about our careers, kind of like what we did with the doctors, but now it's our turn. Because I mean, it's some fascinating careers of, you know, like Ed, I did not know he was a chemist, man.
Yeah, well, see, yeah, my degree is in chemistry, but I worked as an engineer, and the finance piece came when I was running a company, senior manager of IBM and vice president of operations for Selectron. That's how I got into the finance piece of it because we had to deal with the finance.
I'll be down.
But my degree is in chemistry, and chemistry with a minor in mathematics.
That's like me. I was in business management most of my career with IBM. My degree is in psychology. So, you know.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together, and we had a kid. We're going to have our own career day. I mean, it's too much just wealth mentally with career-wise for all you brothers, man. So I'm going to do it on a non-MOI Saturday because we ain't got really no time for the other Saturdays and just see who comes to it. People, you know.
The funny thing about our company is that, well, the company that we worked for was that it didn't really matter a lot what your degree was in, because when you got in there, they trained you on what they wanted you to know.
Yeah.
You do it this way. Right?
Yeah.
Because I think I did 6 months worth of chemistry work, and then I went directly into engineering, and they trained me for engineering. And then when I went into management, it didn't matter because they train you to be a manager.
Yeah.
I mean, they put you through some
rigorous training.
Vigorous training. I mean, you go through some crap that you say, "My God, I don't want to do this."
Yeah, and they always said the ones I went to were always up north. It seemed like I always went to them when it was cold. You know, Bellwood, Armonk, New York, up there, man. And I think even the first one I went to was we used to call it Deadwood, because we had rooms, there was no TVs, no nothing. I mean, Go to bed, right?
And you better not have no alcohol.
That's right.
You will get, yeah, that's one reason you get fired quick.
Mhm.
IBM you did not drink alcohol in front of IBM.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
We used to get that talk. Do you ever get the LSD talk here? We call it LSD, liquor, sex, and drugs. Right?
What was that?
Liquor, sex, and drugs, the LSD talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got the no drugs talk in the corrections department when they say we got a zero drug tolerance policy. That's it.
Well, they loosened up after a few years. Later on in my career, they loosened it up, and you could have alcohol. You could have beer and wine, but not hard liquor.
Yeah, no. Corrections came out with a zero tolerance policy, and they literally meant if you test positive, how it works is they inform you at the drug test site, and then you got to tell your employer. And then the employer that same minute tells you, thank you for working for us. Just like that.
Well, look, guys, I'm gonna have to leave, so
okay.
I'll talk to you all later.
All right, brother.
Time for your nap?
No, man, I'm babysitting.
Don't sound so excited about it.
You gotta do what now?
Babysitting.
Oh, okay. I gotta go cut grass, man. My grass is on my knees.
All right, so
well, have a good one.
All right, you take care.
I'll talk to you. All right.
Get all the fellas back to the room now. Everybody's coming back.
We may have to do something for like kids like 18, 19 years old. We're getting a lot of requests for that niche. Niche, however you want to pronounce it. I got a request the other day for a kid that's 18 out of high school, but
okay.
Dad said he was just spinning, right? He didn't know what to do, where to go, what have you. So I'll give it some thought. Quavate, you cut your hair?
We can't see you, man, or hear you.
You got it plaited up or something? Okay. It looks like
it's
you cut
there somewhere.
Yes, you got pulled back.
Is everyone back, or is just me?
Not everyone.
Okay. Can I go back in? I was midpoint.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
We ain't done?
No, not quite.
Why don't I stop? Reggie, why don't I stop and we'll just go through the assessment.
We can do this. We can just stop here. When we come back next session, we can pick up right there and finish up.
In fact, let's start with the assessment.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bang out the assessment, and then if anyone has any questions, then we'll just wrap up.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'll need to do the same thing, Reggie. We were 2 slides away from the end, so we'll have to do that assessment as well for the middle school.
That's fine. I'm closing out both the rooms. And we can pick up where we left off. Not a big deal. Good session though, guys. Both sessions.
Like we're missing a few.
They'll be done in a second. Let me see.
I'm sure some of our enterprising young mentees would like to come help me cut grass today. Well, you got to cut grass in the wintertime. My grass is almost up to my knees. I got to go out there.
You heard me, Mr. Means?
Huh?
I said I'm on the way with Pudding Head.
Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath till you get here.
Who was that, Josh?
Yeah.
Josh, did you ever talk to that man over there at A&T?
The guy, no.
You got to be kidding me. Man, I'm gonna beat all the black off you when I see you, man. It's just gonna have to be that way, man.
No, don't.
I'm sorry, man. It's just got to be that way, man.
Got a whipping coming.
Yeah. Of epic proportions.
Can I ask John a quick investment question?
Your tab, you running up your tab.
I don't give investment advice. Go ahead.
I bought some stock in a vaccine, right? NK is the name of the stock. And it has tripled since I bought it, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's only in phase 1 testing.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, if this thing gets to stage 3, I'm going to quadruple my money. But it's awfully tempting to just cash out. Well, what's your advice?
That you let me hold.
You know, one of the things I think you want to do is just look and see what type of company is that. There's a lot of companies, they never get to phase 3. They tend to sell to a major before they get to phase 3. So one of the things is you want to try and assess what are the potential outcomes. And one outcome could be they sell the drug early. Another outcome could be the drug doesn't work. And then the last outcome is they go through and they commercialize it. And if I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about that, I might try and assign a probability to each. And based on that probability, that would inform you on what decision you should make. A lot of times, like, things can be real squishy with investing. If you put a number on it, it forces you to justify that number. And the other thing is, if you're wrong, then you've got some documentation where you can look back and you can say, all right, well, I thought there was an 80% probability that they would sell it and they didn't. What did I get wrong? And what did I learn from that? That way, the next investment you make, because all this is about continuing to invest. It's not about, one investment. That way, the next investment you make, you get better. The next one, you get a little bit better. The next one, you get a little bit better. But it sounds like you've already won, so it's hard to lose in that case.
You will receive a bill for this.
This is all really risky stuff, by the way, for everyone listening. Most people should not be doing what we're talking about.
And I've got a consulting fee portion of that, so you're getting 2 bills.
Look, I need my money back for hosting this Zoom session, so that probably might really split up.
All right. I think we have everybody back. Before we wrap up, just want to say thanks again to Brother Brown and Brother Hook for presenting today. Hopefully the mentees, hopefully you guys got something out of this. I would like to see a little bit more interaction when he starts going over, when they both start going over different aspects of the topics, just to make sure that everybody understands what's going on. There's no right or wrong answer, as Brother Brown mentioned, but if you don't understand something, now is the time to ask those questions, because we got people, experts in those fields, and they have good sound information and advice on the topic. So other than that, I thought you guys did a great job today.
Yeah, did the other group ever come back? Looks like we're missing about 15 people.
Brother Hook, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. So yeah, his group should be there unless they dropped.
Yeah, it went from 61 to 46. So.
Yeah, they both. Yeah, the rooms are.
Yeah, I think that they thought that was the end of the day.
Let's see.
Yeah, they're gone. Because we had 3 pages, now we're down to 2.
Yeah. Yeah, tell them we're gonna take the pics from now on at the end, and those that are still on credit, not at the beginning, right? So, some of you guys, what did you think about the sessions? Let me hear some feedback. Don't everybody speak at once. Talking to the mentees.
I enjoyed the Black History portion. I did enjoy dollars and cents once we got more into the investing portion.
Okay, thank you, Caden. Anybody else?
I'm gonna need some more paper.
You're gonna need some more paper.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was gonna say, where are you, boy? What you doing?
Sure, hey, we can get him a whole ream of paper if he doing it like that.
Let's see. Who else we got on here?
Justin Rankin.
Huh.
Yeah, that whole middle school. Well, not all of them. There's some still here. Manuel's here. Aiden is still here. There's a few, but for the most part, they're gone.
Aiden, how'd you like your first day?
It was nice.
It's nice. You like that?
Yeah.
We had a lot more fun when we're in person. But
All right. I'll be there.
okay. What's up, Emmanuel Reed? Are you using that Mac or are you using your phone?
I'm using the Mac.
I'm using the Mac. How you like that Mac?
It's working fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And I see iPhone. I think that's
Is that Evan?
Donnell's little brother. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Where you been, son?
Just at home chilling.
You been doing what?
Oh, just chilling.
Uh-huh. Okay. Because I haven't seen you in a long time.
That's your cue, brother, to explain right where you been.
Oh, we have football meetings on Saturdays at the same time.
Football take precedence over MOY? What's the rule? Let me hear it.
Start with the number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
All right.
I think we're all set for another session of MOI. Any final comments, remarks from anybody before we go? Nobody? All right. All right, gentlemen. Well, thanks again. I appreciate you guys' time. You know I do. Still hoping to get back and do this thing, at UNCC. So y'all be good and we'll catch up again in 2 weeks.
Thanks,
Carl. Be safe. Be safe and stay out of trouble.
Good weekend.
Bye.
Yeah. Take care.
Guys, have a good week.
Do we need to stay on, Aaron?
No, not necessarily. I've got to talk to Vic. I'll give him a call.
All right.
All right.
Good weekend.
I'm out.
All right, hey, Reg, I sent you some screenshots
Okay. Appreciate it.
minutes ago. So, all right, y'all.